Minister Yaacob Ibrahim, Minister for Comms and Information, Mr. Vivian Balakrishnan for Environment and Water Resources, Ms. Yong Ying Yi, Chairman of IDA, ladies and gentlemen. May I congratulate all the winners of the National Infocom Awards. You exemplify the spirit of innovation. You've brought technology and bright ideas together. You've made it work, and you've made life better for us. At this year's National Day rally, I spoke on how we can use technology to make a difference to our people's lives and to build a smart nation. And today, I'm glad to be here to recognize the organizations and the people at the forefront of this effort. And I'll take a few minutes today to talk about our Smart Nation initiative and our vision for where we want to take Singapore in this direction. In 50 years since independence, we've succeeded beyond expectations. Soon after separation, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew said, over 100 years ago, this was a mud flat, a swamp. Today, this is a modern city. 10 years from now, this will be a metropolis. Never fear. Indeed, Singapore has become a metropolis and more. We've improved our standard of living, we've created opportunities for our people, and we've built a city and a country to be proud of. Looking ahead, we should aim to be an outstanding city in the world, an outstanding place for people to live, work, and play in, where the human spirit flourishes. The world is changing fast. We are a leading city today, but other leading cities, San Francisco, New York, London, Sydney, Shanghai, they are attracting capital, talent, ideas. They are building outstanding urban environments. They are pulling ahead of the rest of the pack and even of the rest of the countries which they belong to. And we have to move ahead with them and stay up there amongst the leading cities of the world. We owe it to our people, and we can do this. We have the people, we have the resources, we have the ability to make it happen. And one important advantage which we have, which we must take full advantage of, is to use technology extensively and systematically, particularly IT. Not just piecemeal, individual gadgets, individual programs and systems, that we are already doing, and all sorts of devices and applications have technology in them and IT in them. I'm sure just in this room, if we add all our handphones together, we'll have terabytes of storage and gigamips of processing power. But we have to do this systematically to make the most of the potential, to integrate all of the technology and the possibilities into a coherent and comprehensive whole. And this will make our economy more productive, our lives better, and our society more responsive to our people's needs and aspirations. Therefore, our vision for Singapore is to be a smart nation, a nation where people live meaningful and fulfilled lives, enabled seamlessly by technology, offering exciting opportunities for all. We should see it in our daily living, where networks of sensors and smart devices enable us to live sustainably and comfortably. We should see it in our communities, where technology will enable more people to connect to one another more easily and intensively. We should see it in our future, where we can create possibilities for ourselves beyond what we even imagined possible. We've already started on this Smart Nation journey. We are wired up and well connected. 9 out of 10 Singapore homes have broadband, and soon we should have fiber to every home. Our smartphone penetration is one of the highest in the world. 85% of people have smartphones. We're doing a lot in terms of e-government. IRAS's e-filing, MHA's passport application services, National Library Board's book borrowing. They are amongst the best in the world in terms of responsiveness, in terms of comprehensiveness of service. Nobody enjoys paying taxes, but if you must pay taxes, pay to IRAS. In healthcare too, our public hospitals have integrated their patient records so that doctors can pull up information on the patient regardless of which hospital the patient goes to. He's admitted as an emergency or he goes to another hospital, the data is there. Some other countries have spent tens of billions of dollars building systems, trying to build systems like this, and sometimes giving up after spending tens of billions of dollars. We're not completely there yet, but we are making progress and we are getting it to work. Our startup scene is lively. There are more young people starting companies, writing apps, building high-tech products. And our people are tech-savvy. If we look at our schools, maths and science standards, by all the international comparisons, are amongst the best in the world. And one positive sign is that not only have they got the aptitude, they are showing more interest in it. And in the last 3 years, more of our best students have chosen to do comp science and IT, information systems, in our universities. So we have the elements, and we have to build on them to make a national effort and to set ourselves the goal of being a smart nation. What does this mean? There are many things, but let me just illustrate some of the possibilities. First of all, our daily lives should become more convenient and sustainable. Megan just now on the video showed you what this means, but let me tell you again. If you can do it, if you can automate the things which are routine, we can focus our time and energy on the things that really matter to us. So we are developing Jurong Lake District into a beautiful location. Imagine how technology can contribute to this. Take a family heading down to Jurong Lake for a day out on a weekend. You're rushing. In your rush, you forgot to turn off your lights and your aircon. In the old days, you either run all the way home or wait till the end of the day and kilowatt hours burnt, money spent. But today, you can, or you should be able to get your iPhone, connect to your home, find out what the status is, and if your aircon is on, turn it off. If your lights are on, turn them off. Save energy, save bills, save anxiety. You may be unsure how you want to get to your destination. So you get hold of an app, and that tells you which bus to take, which train to take, how to minimize the crowds. And if you have a bigger family, lots of kids, you want to take a car, you should be able to get a self-drive car to take you there. And no need to drive, no need to find parking. And along the way, you should have a smooth ride, because hopefully driverless, the cargo vehicles, the container trucks, they move at night, driverless. When the roads are free, daytime freed up for people. And when you get there and you want to buy something, you just wave your watch to pay, and your watch will find the best credit card promotion. So instead of a passion card, you should have a passion watch. What I describe isn't that far off. In fact, many of the technologies are already here. We already have smart devices in homes, whether aircons, whether lighting. They are there. We already have data and apps to help commuters plan their routes on buses and trains. And in fact, LTA has just launched a new app to help you get from point A to point B and know how to do it. And I have one here. Let me show you. I hope it works. Okay, we've got the app on the screen. It's My Transport at the bottom right. Let's click on it. This is a new version. You may already have one. This one showed up in the App Store just last night. So if you haven't updated your phone, please do so. But the point is, this one has got a journey planner. There's an icon at the bottom left. If you click on the journey planner, it shows you where you are, hopefully, what your nearest bus stop is, and you can choose where you want to go to. So we are at Marina Bay Sands at Bayfront Avenue, and I want to go to Ion Orchard. Okay? And it tells me that I must take bus 106 heading towards Bukit Batok Interchange. And to get to bus 106, I need to walk to Marina Bay Sands Theatre, which is across the road, take the bus, and then when I get off the bus, I walk to the destination, 2 Orchard Turn, and it tells you how long you'll get there. So the bus itself, let's click on the bus. As you sit on the bus, it will tell you how many stops there are to go. So from where you are, there are 9 stops to go, and as you proceed, it will count down. You don't have to look at it all the time, because 2 stops before where you are supposed to get off, it will beep and you can wake up. I hope so. There you are. So, I think LTA passes the test on this one. So do I. So you've got the apps. You've got driverless cars. They are coming. People imagine them as sci-fi, but in fact they exist. Google has got a driverless car. So have got other companies. And the Google one has driven 1 million kilometers. And I hear that they only had 2 accidents in that 1 million kilometers. One, they got rear-ended by a human being. And the second one, a human being was driving the car and crashed it. So it's some time before we all have driverless cars, but the technology is coming and we should be ready for it. In fact, we are trying out driverless buggies at the Lake District in Jurong. And we'll be trying other driverless vehicles on some routes in One North next year. For transactions, the watch is not there yet, but many of us already interact with government departments online, like tax filing. And we have been trying NFC payments for retail and transport. We do not have to wait for Apple Pay, which was just launched in the US. So what we need to do is to pull all these pieces together. For example, HDB is studying how to design flats to plug and play smart devices for the household and to improve things that bother people, like parking allocation in the HDB car parks. And IDA is already building a network that will connect intelligent devices across the nation, from sensors to driverless cars. So that's how you can integrate everything seamlessly in our design of towns and in our daily living. But being a smart nation is more than making our daily lives more convenient. It can also strengthen our community and our society, help us to connect to those whom we care deeply about, enable us to do things that we never imagined we could do, and empower communities to look out for and to help one another. Many of us are already on the social media. The very old ones, not so much. The not so old ones, probably on Facebook accounts. The very young ones think the Facebook is for old folks. So they don't do Facebook because their parents do it. So they're on Instagram and Twitter. And good and bad things come on these social media, but one good thing is that they help us to keep in touch with our friends and with people whom we may not meet very often. But then some people lament that we spend too much time on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and we need to talk more face-to-face, and we have an app for that also. made by Republic Poly students. It's called Apple Tree. And if you spend time with friends and family and you don't touch your phones, you get a reward. So what we need to do is to integrate the online part with the real-life offline part in order to create more opportunities for us to interact with one another. For example, we can have platforms where communities can come together to work on improving their precinct or to provide feedback to government agencies on issues, on problems which need to be solved. We can connect to our neighbors with apps so that we can informally help one another. Like-minded neighbors can come together, pursue some common hobby, like gardening or exercise together. Or you can share things and cooperate with one another, like blockpooling.sg, where you have a kind of exchange and you can do favors for one another or run errands for each other. So these are all things which previously were quite impossible, but now they are possible. And one aspect of life which IT can make a big difference to is looking after old people. Many of us have elderly parents to take care of, and we worry for their health, we worry for their safety, we are afraid if something happens to them, they fall down or they get ill. We may not know. Because many seniors want to live alone, or rather want to live in their own homes, instead of being completely reliant on others, on their children. And it may be two old folks, if one passes on, it's one old person. In fact, 10-15% of our households now are single-person households. It's quite a thought. And they have family, but the family are not living in the same household with them. So we need to do something to solve this problem. And HDB is piloting the Smart Elderly Monitoring and Alert System. I don't know what the acronym is, but there's a Smart Elderly Alert Monitoring and Alert System, sensors in HDB flats. And you use a combination of sensors, so if the system finds out that something is out of the ordinary, the routine change, or there was a signal when there shouldn't have been, it can raise the alarm and alert family members or neighbors. You can also use IT for telemedicine so that you can deliver health care to the home. The doctor doesn't have to travel all the way, or the nurse or the physiotherapist, but from the hospital you can connect up and you can talk, you can find out what's happening, you can give advice, you can monitor and treat the patient. And I wanted to do a demonstration, but instead of a demonstration, I will show you a video of how this is done, where the physiotherapist in the hospital can monitor and treat a stroke patient at home. But watch the video, it tells you a heartwarming story.
She was actually a really sporty person, and usually we would go with our family to play badminton.
I went for my night exercise. When I came back from my night exercise, I realized that there's numbness on my leg. The next day I went to the GP, they confirmed that I had a stroke.
Before we had the tele-rehab system, it was kind of difficult because we had to drive her to and fro to the hospital.
I think it's more convenient. It's good that it motivates my wife to do the exercise more regularly and even independently.
Yeah, I like the system. I find it useful, efficient, and convenient. It saves us on the driving time to the daily rehab center. I can have FaceTime with my therapist. Then she will let me know about my progress. She will upgrade the level if there's improvement. I hope for a fast recovery so that I can go back to work and join my friend for karaoke.
So this is just one patient, and she's not that old, but there are a lot of old people in Singapore who are at risk of this. By 2030, there's going to be 900,000 people in Singapore, 65 and above. I think including many who are in this room. And our Smart Nation building vision can radically change how we approach the idea of active aging, so that we have more to look forward to in our golden years. We will also use technology in an inclusive way so that all groups can benefit, including those who are not so familiar with IT, and in particular, the older people. We're going to have Citizen Connect centers with officers to help citizens across government services while we make services available online. We will have silver Infocomm junctions that provide affordable and customized IT training for seniors. When we have IT, we want it to be accessible to everybody, and we have to prevent a digital divide from turning up in Singapore between those who have IT and can afford it and know how to use it, and those who don't have IT or don't know how to use it. So, for example, we have e-filing for our courts. So documents are filed electronically, it's all in a database. You don't have to have stacks and stacks of paper. And we move faster than other countries on this. I just met in Australia the the governor of Queensland, of the state of Queensland. I was there for a meeting in Brisbane. And he used to be the Chief Justice of Queensland. And he came to Singapore 2 years ago for a conference of Chief Justices and saw our system. And he was very impressed. He said, the most impressive thing was not that you have a computer system, but we had provided ways and booths where people who can't afford that access, who don't know how to do that access, they can go there, they can bring their papers there, they can be helped, they can have their papers filed electronically. So that you may be rich, you may be poor, if you have to go to the courts, if you have to have access to justice, you get access to justice. And this was one issue when they in Queensland had thought about automating and computerizing their filing. How do you make sure everybody has it? But we have that. And I think we must continue to have that. So the Smart Nation is not just a slogan. It's a rallying idea for us all to work together to transform our future together. I've described a few ideas. These are just scratching the surface because there are endless possibilities waiting to be dreamed of. We will only make this a smart nation if we get everybody active, engaged, excited, wanting to make this happen. When enterprises seize opportunities to provide a service or to build a product that makes our lives better. When programmers build apps which help a community to bond with one another. When neighbors step up to check on their own neighbors through the HDB Smart Elderly Monitoring System when it sounds the alarm. The government will lay the foundation, will build the infrastructure, will facilitate innovation, will create a framework for all of us to contribute. One way in which we are going to do this is to open up our maps, our databases of places and information about them, so that the public can share the geospatial information, can share meaning, can use what's there, and can contribute and put information into the system. Imagine if we can tap everyone's local knowledge and anyone can contribute data, animal sightings, traffic incidents, potential hazards for cyclists, even the best mee pok or nasi lemak. So today, we're going to launch a new project called Virtual Singapore. And the idea is to develop an integrated 3D map of Singapore, enriched with layers of data about buildings, about land, about the environment. And it'll be a platform to bring together the government, citizens, industry, and research institutions together to solve problems. For example, to simulate the coverage of the wireless network or the effects of heavy rain. What that means is find out where it floods when it rains. So to realize this vision, I think we have to pull the pieces together from all over the government, and we will set up a Smart Nation Program Office. Today, the government departments are all variously doing their own thing, LTA, URA, MOM, and so on. Our research institutes are doing their own things. R&D institutes in A-Star are doing things like helping NLB to sort books at night using robotics and sensors. Quite interesting programs, but we need to bring them together. And we can go much further if we can put it together, identify the issues, prototype ideas, deploy them effectively to benefit the whole nation. So we will have a Smart Nation Program Office, and it will do this. Take in perspectives and ideas from many sources, make sure that we have a whole of government, whole of nation approach to building a smart nation. And to make sure that it works, I'm going to put this office in the PMO. And I'm putting Minister Vivian Balakrishnan in charge, and I will take a personal interest in this. One important aspect of a smart nation is cybersecurity. We are putting more and more functions and more data into our computers, into our handphones, into our networks, into our systems. Often they know more about us than we remember about ourselves. And it's vital that we have secure systems that we can trust. Not just preventing credit cards numbers from being stolen, but protecting ourselves from malicious attacks, where there's hacking like Anonymous, where there's distributed denial of service, DDoS, you know what that is, where there's malware that infects our computers, which steals sensitive information, or possibly threatens critical infrastructure. If it gets into a hospital IT system, patients can die. If it gets into our power system, our power grid can be brought down. If it gets into our airport system, we can have a very serious problem. In fact, in America, there was one airport where a young teenager got into the airport IT system and rummaged around and was able to turn off all the airport lighting on the tarmac for half a day. So it's not a laughing matter. We take it seriously. We already have cybersecurity duties residing in the Ministry of Home Affairs, in the IDA, but I don't think that they are as strong as we would like them to be. And we need to reorganize them to strengthen our systems and our institutions. And we are studying how best to do that, to protect government systems, including the Census for Smart Nation, against cyber attacks, but also outside the government, other critical systems, like in telecoms, like in banking, like in the energy sector, so that you will never be completely impregnable, but I think we need to be secure and as safe as we can be. And that means within the government, we need the system, and outside the government, we must reach out to companies and individuals to raise your security awareness in order to create a secure and a trusted ICT network. So we need the right organization, the right skills, the right mindsets to be a smart nation. And in our education system, we have to start there. We are equipping students with up-to-date knowledge and skills to use the technology. But schools must also teach students how to create the technology of the future. Teach them to code, to prototype and build things, to fail fast and learn quickly, and use the latest latest gadgets and latest tools and be up with the latest technology. And there's work being done on this all over the world. I just read an article. There's an American group which is designing a $10 robot. $10 for school children to learn how to program robots. It can find out where it is, it can follow lines, it can move forward, move back, can turn, can measure distances using infrared, and you can program it graphically. So if you wanted to turn a light on, you pull a LED icon, put it there, put the green light, it lights up. So children can do that. Our children can do that. We have kids in school who do very well at robot soccer. We never win or we have so far not won at the real World Cup, but at the Robotics World Cup Championships, we do very well. And I think that we must get our children in schools exposed to IT, exposed to programming, and in some countries, it's a long way for us, but in some countries, all kids are required to learn to code, at least the basics, so you understand what it is about, even though you may not write the next Windows operating system. We may not go that far, but I think we must expose our kids, and we must enable the most talented and interested ones to be able to go far and develop their talent in IT, in schools, and pursue that. And whether in university, whether after that to set up a startup or to join a company or work with the government and make a smart nation. So you need the skills, we need the education, and the can-do spirit of experimenting and risk-taking. This is what makes Silicon Valley special. The world leader in technology innovation, constant stream, constant churn of ideas, of new business models. And the Chinese are getting there too. I was in Shenzhen a few months ago and visited Tencent, Tengxun, in Shenzhen. They are one of the big IT companies in the world now. And if you walk around and talk to their people and soak up the mood, they are like, you would think you were in Silicon Valley. It's informal, it's casual, lots of energy, lots of new things going on. Some will succeed, some will fail, but a passion to change the world. And they put up screens showing all the places where people are using QQ or the WeChat. And it's all over the world. And I think we need that passion and that excitement to move. Within the government, we are reviewing how to manage the careers of our technologists and engineers because we need to strengthen our own capabilities within the government. We cannot just be outsourcing everything. Yes, we need to bring in expertise from the industry, but we need our own expertise too. Not least to be able to specify what we want and to be able to interact fruitfully with the industry. In particular, we will build up the IDA because it has a key role in spearheading the development of a smart nation. And build up meaning not just a head count, but growing a culture and a mindset of experimentation. Being willing to try new approaches, disrupt existing ways. Try, fail fast, learn the lessons, turn around quickly. Constantly pushing the boundaries inside the government, outside the government. IDA needs more of this ethos. It can't quite be like a Silicon Valley company because it's not just a startup. It has a regulatory role in telecoms. It has responsibilities in maintaining large government systems. But IDA must also push the envelope, using technology to seek new applications, to find new approaches to existing problems. And you must have that ethos within the system, within IDA. And you must have that kind of people within IDA who want to do it and who feel that they can work like that, even though IDA is quite a big organization and the Singapore government has ongoing responsibilities to keep a system going reliably and not failing. So, smart nation is a lot of possibilities, I think, a lot of excitement, particularly for young people. This is our country, this is our future. My question to young people would be, do you want to be part of this movement to build a smart nation? Come together, design the solutions, test the ideas, give us the feedback, imagine it, let's decide on it, let's make it happen. So we are making a home for all Singaporeans, young and old. Not just the technology savvy, but everyone. We want to transform our lives for the better. And we have what it takes to achieve this vision, the capabilities and the daring to pull it all together and to make a quantum leap forward. So I'm looking forward to living in a smart nation, better living for all of us, stronger communities within our society, and more opportunities for all. So if I may go back to what Mr. Lee Kuan Yew said when first we became independent and take it one step forward and update it, today perhaps this is what he would say. 50 years ago, we built a modern city. Today, we have a metropolis. But 10 years from now, let's have a smart nation. Let's make it happen together. Thank you very much.